I'm actually curious if in your brothers' gatherings, whether you have seen that maybe there's some uniquely Asian or Singaporean cultural challenges for men versus, like, let's say, men from a different, like a Western culture or something.
I feel especially over here in Singapore, we live in a collective culture. Like whoever I am, I'm representing my family, or whoever I am, I'm representing my community. So it's very hard for men to really do what they really want authentically, and because of that, it's very hard. That's always the common challenge I find in most men. It could be anything. It could be finding their own career path, not carry on the family's legacy, or could be, finding their own authentic spiritual belief, could be even opening up, coming out from the closet for most gay men. Yeah, so I find over here, as Asian Singaporean men, that's always the main problem. Yeah, or a main struggle, I would say.
True. Like being able to exercise my agency.
Yeah. To fully embody it, like being fully honest and portray it in front of your loved ones, Yeah, and rather than just hiding it, you know what I mean? So that's always the struggle. Number two is, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, is being romantic. I find most as Singaporean men find it hard to express romance. Yeah, because love is always expressed through money, food, material things. It's never through connection, be it emotional connection or physical connection. Yeah, it's interesting because I like going when sidetrack. I'm just gonna segue to my own personal life story. So I also start to connect with my family, like physically, hug my sister, hug my brother. I mean, it's a very awkward process, but I'm working on it, slowly, because I feel like we lack that in our family. Yeah, because love is being what do you call it? Is being expressed a lot through Islam, food, especially food. Yeah, culture. Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that, but I feel we need to also go back to the human essence of things as well.
The physical touch, the verbal affirmation.
Yes. So when I meet my mom, so I just like straight away hug her. I can feel that she's still not used to it. Yeah. But I feel like it's slowly, working out. Yeah. So that part of it, I find most us men over here find it hard to really go into the depths of our heart and express or to court, their other halves. Yeah, over here. Yeah.
I remember what I want to ask you now.
Okay, there you go.
It was your very provocative image of, like, there are these little boys running around with big man meat suits. Right? And I wanted you to speak to a listener who might feel that way. Like, hey, I'm the little boy in the big male meat suit, and I don't really know if I feel connected with myself as a grown man just yet. I feel like a little boy still. So what would you advise this man to do?
Reparent. You have to
Reparent.
Yeah, you have to reparent your inner child.
And could you unpack what reparent your inner child means?
So a lot of us express in a very immature way is because the inner child is wounded, which is your developmental stages of life, right? And if we are not aware enough to do our inner work, it will keep expressing itself in so many ways, and it's going to affect your loved ones, and we don't want that. And so we need to basically go back, tap onto your feminine side, actually. Tap onto your feminine side and find out what you are curious about in life. you know, like what gives you joy, you know. Journaling helps, you know, journal about what you love to do, what you used to love to do when you were a kid, you know, because we used to love to do a lot of things when we were a kid until our parents tell us not to do it, you know, like because discipline comes in a way, we need to do our homeworks.
Yeah.
Along the way, because of strict guidelines or strict guidance by our caretakers or by our parents, we become that strictness
Right.
to ourselves. Yeah. And then we want everybody else to be like that. We become strict to everyone else. Yeah. And that's where we need to do our inner work lah, to
Yes.
reparent, like, you know, have your own me time.
Yeah.
Like what makes you feel good, you know, work out, do your own work to look good, to feel good. Be, I don't know, be a Superman, be a superhero that you always aspire to be. Yeah, all these tap onto an inner child for men, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely what I'm picking out and hearing from this is that it's men and women can do this work. Like that there is an inner child in you that maybe hasn't felt like they had permission to grow up in a way that they wish they could grow up. Maybe they didn't feel loved enough, or maybe they didn't feel they could have the fun that they wish they could have. And right now you're old enough to do that work for yourself.
Yeah.
To just say like, all right, I'm gonna take care of that inner need that hasn't gone away. And I don't need to wish the past was any different because you can't go back and change the way you were parented, but you're certainly old enough to parent yourself. Yeah, so I'm really loving that, and I'm hoping for any listener to not, if you feel this is representative of you, to not like beat yourself up and, oh, why am I still like so immature, but to recognize that what do I need then to mature, and how can I love and connect with myself so that that maturity comes into fullness.
There is a book that is very that actually helped me with that. It's called The Artist's Way by Julie Cameron. So it's very interesting. That book was written during the 1970s. She's such ahead of her time, and it's still very, very applicable until now. So what it does, it really makes you do your work on a weekly basis, so that you are allowed to have time for yourself and find healing with your past. It takes a lot of courage, and I would advise listeners who wants to try it, you know, don't be open enough to commit to the book. So one of the exercise is asking us to draw or doodle your ideal bedroom when you are 6 year old. Yeah, this kind of thing, you know. Like, oh my God, I never thought of that. I never had my own bedroom to begin with when I was a kid, and I was always shared with my other siblings. So yeah, I started to draw what I really want to have, you know, when I was a kid, blah, blah, blah. And it really made peace with my adult self and my childlike self. Yeah, so it's really good. So I feel like if any man or anyone, that book is a good help.
Yeah, I mean, I strongly encourage listeners to hear it not as like, if I draw a picture, am I going to get healed? That sounds like so bullshitty and simple. But it's really about helping yourself make contact with what you needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and learning to take care of that for yourself.